The voice actor for Geralt in the Witcher game series, Doug Cockle, recently came out and talked about why he thinks Henry Cavill, who played Geralt in the TV series, left The Witcher. Cockle talked about some of the reported creative differences with Netflix, which have been the talk of the town for the past few months since news of Cavill being replaced by Liam Hemsworth broke out. Let's get into what he had to say. First up, Doug Cockle addressed the ongoing reports of Cavill's exit during a recent appearance at MCM Comic-Con. The voice actor specifically noted Cavill's reported creative differences with the writer's room on the Netflix show, acknowledging Cavill's love for the original source material as well as the show's various changes. Here's what he had to say. "If that's the case, I can completely understand that, because Henry is such a huge fan of the games and the books, and the writers on the Netflix series have chosen." He added that he wasn't really sure why the show decided to deviate so far from the books and games, stating that it's down to what you like. In another interview with Eurogamer, Cockle also expressed his disappointment in seeing the Superman star depart the Netflix show, praising his incredible work in the role the two shared. He said that he found it really sad, especially because of how fabulous of a job Cavill did as Geralt of Rivia. Then again, if Cavill wasn't really into the direction the show had started to take, then maybe it's for the best that he decided to leave, because his heart would have never been in it, and it would have showed. Let's get into how exactly the show differs from the books. Even though critics have had mostly positive things to say about both seasons of the show, fans of the books have been largely critical of the series, particularly because of the various changes that have been made to Andrzej Sapkowski's amazing source material. One of the most controversial changes came in season 2 of the show, when Freya Allan's Ciri and Anya Chalotra's Yennefer first met and began to interact. That was something that most fans were desperately looking forward to, given the two women's mother-daughter type relationship. Instead, the show gave viewers a more menacing take on their interactions with Yennefer, seemingly only there to sacrifice Ciri to the deathless mother in the hopes of getting her magic back. And how did that end? With Geralt losing his trust in someone who's supposed to be one of his biggest love interests. Up next, that's not it. There was another major change that infuriated fans. In the novels, it was the relationship between Geralt and the traveling bard Jaskier, also known as Dandelion. Even though he's considered a close friend of Geralt in the books, The Witcher sees the monster hunter treating Jaskier with contempt on most occasions, even putting him in some pretty dangerous situations without caring much for whether he makes it out alive or not. Season 2 of The Witcher saw them getting slightly closer, even though the season was rife with a ton of other deviations from the book. Nevertheless, it wasn't enough of a shift back toward the source material as fans had hoped. After that, why exactly were all those changes made if they were so poorly received? Cavill signed up to star in The Witcher all that time ago because he was a big fan of the original source material. We can't stress that enough. Over time, he grew tired of how the writers had been deviating from the source material, changing swaths of plot, themes, and characters, just to more accurately represent the world we currently live in. According to Beau DeMaio, one of the original writers for the show, the staff didn't like the books very much, and many of them actively mocked them. Lauren Hissrich herself spoke publicly about the need to make the show relatable to everyone. She said that she fell in love with the first few books and wanted everyone to feel the same way about them, and that's why she elevated a few more female characters and made the world more diverse and inclusive. But that's not what fans of the books wanted. In response, these fans have been called everything from toxic to racist and sexist. Cavill, on the other hand, calls them passionate for wanting something they love to stay true to what it was meant to be. The book series is based on Slavic folklore and doesn't represent the real world, because it isn't the real world. The stories told in the books are steeped in mythologies and lives of Eastern European people, and fans, as well as Cavill, believe that the show should keep that in mind and stick to the original work. After Cavill's exit announcement, fans even started to petition to have the show's writers removed instead of Cavill. It doesn't seem like that's going to do much, but maybe, just maybe, it'll be the push the writers need to fix their mistakes. Does that mean they plan on fixing things for the upcoming seasons? The same reports of Cavill's creative differences on the show indicate that the writers of the show disliked Sapkowski's novels. Again, we still don't have official statements from Cavill or Netflix to confirm this as being the reason or even one of the reasons for Cavill's departure, but we think a lot of evidence points towards that. Most recently, Lauren Schmidt has promised that The Witcher Season 3 will focus more on the books, shifting toward a more faithful adaptation of the original source material with Liam Hemsworth as the new lead. Despite the alleged disagreements, at the time that Cavill announced his departure, him exiting the role seemed to be an amicable decision. Netflix announced that Liam Hemsworth would be replacing Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher, starting with Season 4 of the hit series. The announcement was followed by statements from both Cavill and Hemsworth. In an Instagram post, Cavill wrote that he would be laying down his medallion and his swords for Season 4, while also thanking the show for filling his journey as Geralt of Rivia with monsters and adventures. He also added that he would be passing the torch with reverence to Liam Hemsworth, also writing that he greatly treasured the time he had spent embodying what he referred to as the greatest of literary characters, and expressed enthusiasm to see the younger Hemsworth brother take on the role in his stead. Hemsworth made his own statement, announcing that, as a Witcher fan, he was thrilled to be taking on the role. He also extended his gratitude to Cavill for welcoming him into the role and allowing him to take up the White Wolf's blades for the upcoming adventure. No one can deny that Cavill's casting as Geralt was brilliant, but unfortunately, his appearance in the upcoming third season of the series, which is going to be released in September 2023, will be his last. We still don't know how Netflix and the show's creator plan on acknowledging and including the character's changing physical appearance as Hemsworth takes on the role, but we are super excited to see what path they decide to go with to address that visible transformation. Next, let's briefly discuss a few other rumors that have been flying around about Cavill's departure. As per the latest rumors, Cavill didn't exactly leave of his volition. In fact, he was allegedly fired from the series for his toxic behavior on set. These claims came from an anonymous host of the podcast De You, who runs the entertainment gossip site De Moi. The host proceeded to read out a statement from someone who claimed to be very close to the Netflix adaptation of the books, spilling the tea on what really went down while filming. These claims painted the actor in a dark light, suggesting that he pushed against the female showrunner in the hopes of steering the storyline to follow the novels more closely. The same claims also stated that Cavill acted like a complete diva, making too many demands that ended up making him quite unpopular among the rest of the cast and crew. They also said that over time, Cavill's attitude got worse, and he became impossible for women to work with, which was a pretty big problem since Lauren Schmidt, the main runner of the show, is a woman. And apparently, she wasn't the only woman who had to put up with his alleged behavior. Other writers and directors on the show were also apparently being ignored by the actor, who constantly claimed to know what was best for the show. According to the same source, the straw that broke the camel's back was Cavill penning and sending an email to the entire writing staff. Up next, how much truth is there to all these claims? Like we mentioned, initial news stated that Cavill left of his own accord, and that he had a short-term contract deal for the show. While other cast members renegotiated their contracts ahead of the fourth season, he chose not to do so. There was no official word on why he made that decision, but most people seem to think that it was because he left to play Superman in the DCU for the foreseeable future. According to Cavill himself, he talked about returning as Superman during Black Adam, revealing that it was a top moment in his career. Unfortunately, though, that didn't really work out for him as well as he'd hoped, since that role was taken away from him not long after too, but that's a different story. With all the speculation going around, Schmidt responded and put an end to the rumors. She said that any and all reports of unpleasantness between the Witcher team and Cavill were baseless, and that the relationship was built entirely on mutual respect. At the same time, though, she was a little shady about the actual reason behind Cavill's exit, stating that she would never get into exactly why he left. During all the drama and speculation, The Witcher Blood Origin was released. This official prequel series to The Witcher couldn't have come at a worse time. The new show just isn't good enough to secure the future of the franchise after Cavill's exit, so we can only hope that the younger Hemsworth brother has something amazing in store to reel viewers back in. That's a wrap for this video. Why do you think Henry Cavill left his role as Geralt behind? Do you think he was kicked out or left of his own accord? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.